Right now on your card, there's an $8,000 charge for work a $200 Claude subscription now does in a weekend. Your dev shop just became the most expensive Zapier account you own, and you haven't noticed yet. $7,800 every month, money you're setting on fire. And Claude Code, Anthropic's terminal coding agent, is the tool doing the arson. The person about to eat your dev retainer isn't a competing agency. It's you, in a hoodie, on a Saturday, if you know what to type. 3 sentences. 1 weekend. Same tool your agency quoted 6 weeks and 34 grand for. I'm Stewart, I ran an agency, I currently pay 2 of them, and most of what you're paying for this month is dead on arrival. Here's what this video answers. What actually dies on your invoice this quarter? What you keep paying for gratefully, and what you do on the Monday after you send the cancellation email, so the whole thing doesn't blow up in your face. None of what I'm about to say is theoretical. I ran the demo on camera last week. Real terminal, real prompt, real HTML file, real dollar math. The proof is what you're about to watch. Claude Code runs on the same subscription you already pay for Claude. $200 a month on the max plan gets you a coding agent that reads your files, writes new ones, runs your commands, hits your APIs, and iterates until the thing works. $200 a month. Flat, not per seat, not per request, not per zap. Plug it into your Stripe, your HubSpot, your Slack, your Google Drive, through what Anthropic calls MCP servers, a fancy name for a plug. It means Claude Code can talk to your business tools without anyone writing integration code first. So here's the answer the title promised. A single owner with 1 subscription now ships the workload 3-person dev shops were billing 8, 10, 12 grand a month for. Zapier upkeep, scraper babysitting, CRM field mapping, weekly report exports, small internal dashboards, all of it. Retainer work, dead. Which is exactly why I need 30 seconds. If you're watching this, you're the operator I built the Church of SEO Jesus for, my free school community. Inside it, the exact briefs I hand to Claude Code, the checklists for killing a retainer line without breaking your business, and other owners doing this to their own agency bills this week. Free. Link in the description, hit subscribe on the way down so the next one lands in your feed. Now the demo. Watch this. My brief, 6 lines, build a dashboard, Stripe MRR next to HubSpot pipeline, 1 HTML page, delta versus last month, refresh on load, acceptance test in plain English. I paste the file into a browser and see 2 numbers and a delta. That is the entire specification. Hand that brief to Claude Code. 1 command, 10 seconds of model time, no back and forth, no let me get on a call with the team, no we can slot this into next sprint, prompt in, code out, file on disk. You watch it run, there's no black box. The commands scroll past on your terminal, you see it write the file, you see the byte count, you see it check its own work. If you don't like what it did, you tell it what to change in English, it changes it. The loop is the whole magic. 4,185 bytes of working HTML, dark mode and light mode. Both MRR and pipeline numbers on screen. Delta versus last month. No login, no build step, no framework. MRR number present, pass. Pipeline number, pass. Delta present, pass. No external build step, pass. Every acceptance criterion I wrote in English checked mechanically against the output. Nobody QA'd this for me. I didn't hire a tester. I wrote what done looked like in the same brief that told it what to build. The acceptance test is a 5-line script that reads the file and either says pass or fail. Every future retainer replacement I ship starts with that same pattern. Brief. Acceptance criteria, build, self-check. 1 tool, 1 line item on a real agency SOW. 20 to 40 hours quoted. 2 to 8 grand invoiced. 3 weeks in the queue. I got it in 10 seconds on a plan that cost less than my mobile bill. Annualize the delta, $93,600 a year on 1 line item. And that's the small stuff, the Zapier Zap that syncs your Typeform submissions into HubSpot with 3 custom field maps, the overnight scraper that watches competitor pricing on 5 URLs, Neither of those needed a dashboard, neither of them needed a framework. Same shape of brief, same shape of test, same 10 seconds of model time. Multiply by every recurring line on your SOW. The math is not close. Now here's the honest part, because if I stop there you'll cancel everything Monday and by Friday your business is on fire. Not everything on your invoice dies. Some of it you keep paying gratefully. What dies first? The recurring ones. Zapier upkeep, scraper babysitting, CRM field mapping, weekly reports, small internal dashboards, the lead scoring update the agency runs every Monday morning, the shop if I webhook that fires the Klaviyo email, the Airtable that syncs to the Google Sheet that feeds the sales team, the overnight scraper that pulls 3 competitor price pages. Anything where the agency's actual value was, we remembered to do it and you didn't have to think about it. Claude Code plus a $2 a month cron on Cloudflare replaces that entire tier. What you keep. Anything with legal risk, an uptime SLA or platform trust, SOC2 posture, PCI-adjacent flows, production database migrations, stuff a regulator can fine you for, or where you need a human name on the instant report when something breaks at 3 AM. Not because Claude Code can't write the code, because when the auditor calls, you want a phone number to give them, not a chat transcript. So what do you actually do in the loop if you can't read the code? You write the brief, you define the acceptance test in plain English. You click through the finish tool and confirm it does what you asked, the entire job. The brief is the deliverable. If you can describe the tool in 3 sentences with an example input and an example output, Claude Code ships. If you can't, no dev shop was going to save you either. They were going to bill you for 2 Zoom calls where you figured out the brief together at $150 an hour. 3 sentences isn't a limitation, it's a filter. If you can't compress the thing you want into 3 sentences, you don't know what you want yet, and you are going to burn 6 weeks of agency time figuring that out on their clock. Compress on your own clock, for free, before you ever type a command. Here's what will actually bite you, and it isn't the code, it's what happens after. Nobody rotating your API keys. Nobody watching the cron when it silently fails. Nobody upgrading the node version when the security patch drops. Budget $50 to $200 a month for hosting, and 1 hour a week of your own attention. Or the whole thing rots inside 90 days, and you crawl back to the agency at double the rate. Because now they're an emergency vendor, not a retainer. And emergency vendors bill emergency prices. The other trap, production data. An operator running Claude Code with write access to a live database can wipe a customer table in 1 distracted afternoon. A friend of mine last year ran a script against what he thought was staging and blanked 400 rows of live user data. Restoring took 38 hours, his own hands, no agency to escalate to. He got lucky the backup was fresh. The guardrails are simple and non-negotiable. Read-only credentials by default. Every change tested against a staging copy before it touches production. Git for anything worth keeping, so undo is 1 command, not a phone call to a backup vendor. Now the verification. Open your last agency invoice yourself, right now. Look at the 3 smallest line items on it. Claude Code kills those first, not me telling you. While we're here, if you run an agency and you're watching this thinking Stewart's declaring war, I'm not. The retainer model is dying, the Sherpa model is not. The 3 people you employed to rebuild the same Zapier Zap 5 times this year are now free to sit next to 5 clients at once, showing them what to type. A better business, just not the one you sold last year. The clients you keep are the ones who want you next to them while they operate Claude Code themselves, not the ones you locked out of the process. Here's the Monday move, so you actually do this instead of nodding at a YouTube video and forgetting by Wednesday. Pick 1 line item. Not the biggest, the smallest one that annoys you the most, the Zapier that breaks every 6 weeks, the report that gets emailed every Friday and takes 2 hours. Write the brief for it in 3 sentences. Feed it to Claude Code, give yourself Saturday. And read your contract. Most retainers have 30 to 90 day notice. Start the notice this week, don't stop the payment. Notice not cancel is how you keep the invoice from becoming a lawsuit. If the first tool ships and passes your own acceptance test, you have proof. take the proof to your agency and renegotiate down to the 2 or 3 line items that actually need a human name on the incident report. Or leave. Your call. Either way, you're operating from evidence instead of hope. The window on this is short. Not because Claude Code goes away, it doesn't. The window is short because the operators in your industry who move on this in August are the ones with the cost structure to underprice you in November. If your competitor has a $200 stack and you have an $8,000 stack and the same output ships from both, they win every quote you both bid on for the next 12 months. One last thing before you close this tab. The Church of SEO Jesus is my free school community for business owners doing exactly what this video described. Inside it, the brief templates I hand to Claude Code, the retainer kill checklist that names which line items go first, the guardrail setup so your first Saturday build does not touch production data, and a channel where other owners post the invoices they cancelled this month, all free. Link in the description. If you took one thing from this video, take that link. Which is a nice pivot into next week. Because DeepSeek V4 Flash just dropped, it made GPT 5.6 Luna look expensive. And if you thought the agency model got hit hard, wait until you see what happened to the model providers themselves. The pricing war on the underlying AI is about to make Claude Max look like the premium option. I'll show you the math next video.